Now, despite the fact that there are more and more graduates and school leavers entering the creative industries every year, there are actually a number of skills shortages in creative businesses. A good strategy for success in media-related careers is to target those skills gaps to fast-track your career. Wouldn't it be handy to know just where these skills gaps are?
So when Skillset talks to the industry about skills gaps, we tend to talk to the sectors within the creative media industry. So we talk to the film industry, we talk to the computer games industry or TV, and we gather information about where the real skill shortages are. And quite often they tend to be in areas that people don't associate with the industry. So they'll be in areas like sales or marketing or broadcast engineering in television, or business in film. There'll be real shortages of people with those wider skills that are needed in the industry. So they tend to be very specific. But having said that, the industry is always looking for people with ideas, as well as specific production or technical skills. We make available all of those lists of skill shortage areas available on Skillset's website.
There is a skills gap in the industry, that's without question. Skillset's identified it, we've identified it, the industry knows what it is as well. It's particularly pertinent in some sectors, engineering being one of those, where you know, Olympics coming up, we can't get enough engineers. From our end of things, it's about obviously about training, about developing a varied form of training course, so that it's not just bums on seats on degree courses that are 3 years long. It's varying that model. So we do 2-year courses, we have short courses, that are particularly aimed at people already in the industry who could move across to another sector where there's skills gaps.
Traditional skills such as illustration, visualisers who visualise up and illustrate storyboards, and they illustrate an idea. That sort of traditional skill is less now. People seem to visualise more on the Mac, but it is still needed in our industry, people being able to draw and visualise ideas. The other thing is proofreaders, old school proofreaders that have come maybe from a compositor's background. That skill is sort of dying out and it's still very much needed. So we're looking really for new talent that has that kind of skill set and maybe needs training in it.
One of the main reasons for people undertaking a career within a specific sector is job satisfaction. The creative industries is one of the most rewarding careers in that respect. Believe me, I know. But don't just take my word for it. What do our interviewees like best about their jobs?
I love the kind of feeling when you've been kind of trying to come up with an idea or a concept and you've just been in a muddle and you've got paper and images, materials everywhere, and then the point when everything something kind of starts to emerge from it and make sense, and then you're like, wow, yeah, that kind of looks like it might work. And then from then, you get really excited because you've got something that's, that you think's going to be great. So I think that's probably my favourite part of the job.
The thing I enjoy about graphic design is a creative subject. No job's the same, every job's slightly different, and you're actually creating something, whether it's a piece of signage, an identity for a company or a website. You actually get to see it at the end of the day, and it's your own personal project.
I think that the most interesting thing about working in the creative industries is working in interdisciplinary teams, working with people with different backgrounds, different technical and creative skills, and bringing that all together to make a kind of big final project.
The thing I really enjoy is how diverse it is. You could be doing power one day and you'll be building a wall the next, and you have to get it fixed now because it's going to go on air in an hour, and if that means that you end up operating the camera back, that means you're in front of the camera. You just have to do it to get it on air. That's something really interesting.
One thing I always do is I always try and get students to realise that their name is on the end of it. When it goes out on the credits roll, even though you can't always see them these days, their name is there, and you have to make sure that you are as good as your last job. The students, I think, get a big kick out of seeing their name go up on the screen, or indeed seeing the finished product. And I still get a kick out of it. I still think it's the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
So with all that said and done, what does it take to be a professional within the careers we have featured today? What kind of skills, attributes and qualities do you need to possess to excel? And I'm not just talking about how good you happen to be at Guitar Hero.
A graduate needs to be very grounded, have a sense of reality about the industry. We have an education in this country which takes people and plonks them into the workplace believing they are totally qualified. They can go out, they can get any job. When you leave college, you may have an opening that is going to get you exactly where you want to go immediately. But the majority of the time, you need to come in at the ground level, learn the trade, work your way through the ranks to get with where you want to go. What that means is that if you have studied as a creative within college or university degrees, when you go for your interviews, you understand that you don't go in to your new company as an art director. You may go in as a junior, you may not even get that far. You may be a graphic designer, you may be an art worker. The fact that needs to be remembered most of the time is that you have a career which goes through a number of stages. And when you go for your job, you need to understand that what you're applying for, what your skill sets are, and be realistic about what you can physically achieve.
One of the main attributes for the students that really gets them working in other places is just keenness, just energy, just a total application to what they're doing. It's one thing to be able to say, I've been on the course and I've reached this skill, but to actually show that you're enthusiastic about what you do, that just counts for so much when you get out into the real world.
The qualities that someone needs to come into the industry, I think have changed. When I started, which is, I think Noah was around 25 years ago, you needed an absolute professional set of skills. You needed, I'm a cameraman, so I needed to know all the technical stuff about cameras. I think as technology's changed, not necessarily things have become easier, but things have become, perhaps people have become more familiar with technology and aren't challenged so much by it. So now the key skills, other than having a knowledge of, is much more about the communication skills, the ability to get on with people, the knowledge of workflows, the knowledge of how to not really upset a director. Little subtle things that you can't actually learn, I don't think, without being on set and doing. That's why so many of our courses here are all about being on set and doing.